So Cyberpunk 2077 pretty much stole the show this year with two huge announcements at Xbox press conference at E3. The first one was that the release date finally has been confirmed for the 16th of April 2020, and I cannot wait to get my hands on this game. The second reveal is that Keanu Reeves will actually be starring in the game, and he will be playing as Johnny Silverhand. It was epic to see Keanu Reeves up on stage talking about the game. He is such a humble, amazing guy, and I am so hyped that he's actually going to be taking part in Cyberpunk 2077. So from interviews, Keanu basically revealed that he was first approached back in July 2018 to play the role, and ever since he's been working closely with CDProjektRed to bring the character to life. Marcin Lewinsky, the joint CEO of CDProjektRed, has actually confirmed that his character, Johnny Silverhand, will be a pretty big character in Cyberpunk 2077, and he is one of the main characters in the Cyberpunk 2020 tabletop RPG game by Mike Pondsmith that CD's game is based on. So he has actually, in fact, confirmed that he's actually the number 2 character in the game in terms of lines of spoken text, and that Keanu Reeves has actually done about 15 days worth of voice recording in the studio to bring the character to life. So this video is basically going to give you a bit of information on the character, what his backstory is, and speculations on his possible role in 2077. So let's get started. So who is Johnny Silverhand? Well, firstly, the first thing we need to point out is that he is a rocker boy. A rocker boy is a type of class that you can play in the Cyberpunk 2020 tabletop RPG. So what are rocker boys? Well, if we actually have a look at the game itself, there is a direct quote which I'm going to read out here, which basically outlines what a rocker boy's role is about and what type of class they are. So rocker boys are the street poets, social consciences and rebels of the 2000s. It is their place to challenge authority, whether in straight out protest songs that tell it like it is, or just playing kick-ass rock and roll to get people away from the TV sets and into the streets. As a rocker boy, you have the power to get people up, to lead, inspire and inform. Rocker boy legends have led armies against corporations and governments. Rocker boy songs have exposed corruption and brought down dictators. Johnny Silverhand is the charismatic lead singer of the heavy rock band known as Samurai. He effectively, in the Cyberpunk 2020 tabletop game, challenges the authority of corporations and is generally against the man, and he's very heavily loved by the people. In the trailer footage, we actually got to see V wearing a samurai jacket. So does this actually hint that maybe he looks up to Johnny Silverhand or respects him, or maybe he just likes their music? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But we did also hear one of Samurai's songs in the reveal. So one of Johnny Silverhand's famous songs called Chipping Away was actually playing in the background if you listen very carefully when Keanu comes out on stage. This role is the perfect fit for Keanu Reeves. He, of course, has a musical background. He can actually sing. So whether or not he performs these songs would be really awesome. But he has even played, stars in the past that was sort of that kind of quintessential character of fighting against the corporation, fighting against the man. Obviously, his role in Matrix, a very cyberpunk kind of futuristic world. He has played rock stars in the past.
And we're Wild Stallions!
So yeah, I'm very excited to see where he's going to take the character. The second thing, of course, with Johnny Silverhand is his silver hand. So he has a cybernetic arm. This is where obviously his name comes from, and he does actually wear it with pride. Augmentations and cybernetic implants are a huge part of Cyberpunk 2077. In this way, it is very much likened to Deus Ex and obviously Blade Runner, which the games are heavily inspired by. But But what is unusual about Johnny Silverhand is that usually in Cyberpunk, in the world of Cyberpunk, the rich, famous, and powerful tend to hide their augments. They look almost human-like, but actually Johnny wears it as a reminder, kind of to do with his past, and it also is connected heavily to his hatred of the Arasaka Corporation, which I will talk about in a little bit more detail further on in this video. The third thing obviously I want to talk about is his backstory and his personality. So Johnny Silverhand is actually ex-military before he became a rocker boy. He was in the army, but at some point in his history he actually deserted the military. Although the reasons for this are unknown, there is a lot of mystery surrounding it. Maybe he became disillusioned with the military, maybe something happened to him, maybe he lost a close friend. Obviously nothing is revealed too much in the tabletop game about that. Hopefully maybe we'll find something out in 2077 about his reasons for leaving the military. But what this does tell us is that Johnny Silverhand has been heavily trained in weaponry and military tactics, so he can handle himself in a fight. Johnny is pretty much a tough nut and will take shit from no one. You pretty much don't want to mess with him, and you definitely do not want to make him your enemy. The fourth thing obviously is supposedly Johnny Silverhand is actually dead. In the 2020 tabletop game, he attacked Arasaka HQ in Night City alongside Morgan Blackhand in an attempt to end the Fourth Corporate War, which is between Arasaka Corporation and Militech. You could guess that we'll probably see these corporations in the game, and maybe they'll expand upon them a little bit more. But he does actually have a history with Arasaka, and this may be the reason that he lost his hand. But his hatred is extremely personal, and that's because of how Arasaka are connected to the people that he loves and cares about. Particularly one person is heavily connected to them, and that is his girlfriend, Alt Cunningham. So Alt Cunningham was actually killed by Saburo Arasaka, the CEO of Arasaka. Alt was a very gifted high-level netrunner who actually invented the beta version of something called the Soul Killer. This was a program that could make a digital copy of a netrunner's mind. Saburo Arasaka, wanting this for himself, kidnapped her, extracted the information from her through probably torture, and made a more deadly version that would simultaneously fry a netrunner's mind after backing it up on the net. No longer needing Alt, they actually used her tech against her and killed her, but her digital ghost that was created in the process actually broke free and escaped into the net, and she actually becomes the first human AI ever to exist. So I'm mentioning that because it might actually be connected to who Johnny Silverhand is in 2077, which I'll talk about in a couple of minutes. But basically during his attack on Arasaka HQ, Johnny was supposedly killed by a full Borg assassin called Adam Smasher, who is more machine than man. Really, there isn't any man left in him. He's pretty much all machine. But Johnny was actually shot by an auto shotgun in the body and left for dead. But his body was never actually recovered, as Arasaka HQ was nuked at the end of the war, and it was assumed that he was vaporized in the process. So Johnny Silverhand obviously is presumed dead, and in some of the gameplay trailer footage, we can actually see graffiti written on the wall which says, "Where's Johnny?" So obviously there's mystery surrounding this famous rebel rocker boy leader from the 2020s. So what is Johnny Silverhand doing in 2077? What is his role? Well, 2077 is obviously set 57 years after the events of Cyberpunk 2020. We know obviously that Keanu is going to play him. Now, Tom Marks in an IGN article actually revealed a little bit more information on his role after giving kind of a blow-by-blow account of the 50-minute behind closed doors demo that was shown to the press at E3. In the article, Tom Marks basically talks about the fact that V is being haunted by a digital ghost named Johnny Silverhand, who sort of presented to him in kind of like a holographic form. Throughout the game, he acts as sort of a voiceover who will comment intermittently on V's actions. So that feels very similar to the Joker in Batman Arkham Knight. We don't know much about him. I mean, is he an hallucination? Is he a projection actually of the real Johnny Silverhand? Or is he actually a digital ghost? You know, was the Soul Killer actually used on him like it was with Alt? And is there a digital copy that exists in the net like Alt Cunningham as well, who I'm sure we'll also probably see in Cyberpunk 2077. But I'm super hyped to hear that Johnny Silverhand is going to be in the game because he's a really interesting character in the world of Cyberpunk. And I'm really hyped to hear that Keanu Reeves is going to be playing him because I think he's one of my favorite action stars and I really love him. And I think he's amazing. So I'm super hyped to see what we're going to get for it. So that's pretty much everything that we know about Johnny Silverhand so far from the 2020 tabletop game, along with some speculations on what his role might be in Cyberpunk 2077. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys found it informative. And I know you guys will be as hyped about Cyberpunk 2077 as I am. I cannot wait to get my hands on Cyberpunk 2077. I'm going to be doing a full Let's Play of it along with some live streams, and I'm going to have to save up my money because I really want to get the collector's edition for this game because I owe it to CDProjektRed to support them, and I can't wait to play it. I'm so hyped. But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed E3 anyway. It's pretty much coming to a close now, so I'll be doing a lot of videos in the upcoming days talking about different games that I was interested in and generally giving my review overall of E3, some of the best and worst moments from E3 as well. So please look forward to that. Anyway, hope you guys are having a great week. Take care, and as always, happy gaming. Bye, guys.